Hello, all my dear friends. Thank you so much for your support.
Hey, Jessica. Before we start our today's episode, many of us wanted to know, is learning vocabulary important?
The answer is yes. It is definitely important. Having a wide range of knowledge of words is crucial for effective communication and expressing ourselves clearly. To cook food, we need ingredients. Similarly, for good English speaking and communication, we need words.
Hey, Anna, would you like to say something on this topic?
Sure, why not? Vocabulary plays a vital role in language learning. Learning new words expands our understanding of the world around us and can express ourselves more accurately.
In today's world, where communication is key, having a rich vocabulary is even more important. It can help us personally and professionally, from writing a compelling email to impressing a potential employer in an interview.
So, to conclude, learning vocabulary is definitely important for anyone who wants to improve their communication skills and express themselves effectively in any situation.
So, why don't we talk about how can we improve vocabulary learning?
Sure, writing down new words can be a great way to learn new words. What do you say, Anna?
It's a really good idea to write down useful new vocabulary. The act of writing the words helps you remember them better. Plus, lots of people learn better when they see things written on paper rather than just hearing them.
It is advisable to make a habit of noting down any new and relevant vocabulary while reading or watching videos.
Revise new vocabulary regularly. Do you know that?
Yes, I know. So, you've got an English notebook full of useful vocabulary to remember. But did you know that if you don't look again at the new words and phrases you've studied, you only remember on average 20-25% of them? That's a shocking waste of time and effort.
Then what should we do?
The good news is that if you look at your notes again after an hour, again the next day, and once more after a few days, you can make sure that 100% of what you learn goes into your long-term memory. So make 5 minutes each day to revise your English vocabulary. The more you look backward, the faster you go forward.
I would like to add something. Reading is amazing for your English in general, but it's particularly good for learning new vocabulary. That's because understanding a new word as part of a story makes it much more memorable than trying to learn a list of words out of context.
When you are learning new words, it helps to understand the situation in which they are used. This is called context. Context provides clues that help you guess what a word means and how it is used in a sentence. When you use context, you will also remember new words better. So, if you come across a new word, try to think about the words around it, and that will help you understand it better.
Good. But can you please explain a little bit to understand it more?
Let me explain. Imagine you're reading a story about a girl named Sarah. She finds something shiny in her garden. When she holds it up to the sun, she says it looks glittering and shimmering. From the story, you can guess these words mean shining or sparkling. Understanding the situation helps you figure out new words without a dictionary.
Students often ask about grammar. Is it important for speaking English?
However, in my opinion, grammar is pretty important for students.
If a student doesn't have a good understanding of grammar, they may struggle to answer questions that require a solid understanding of grammar. So it's probably a good idea for students to brush up on their grammar skills if they want to do well academically.
Honestly, I agree with you. Without proper grammar, one would have no idea how to speak or write in English. It helps us make sense of our words. It also dictates rules regarding how words are used and when they should be used. Without knowing this information, it would be impossible for us to understand anything or say anything at all.
But online teachers often mention that grammar isn't crucial for speaking English. What do you think about that?
Have you ever asked someone who claims that grammar isn't important for speaking English? Didn't they learn grammar for their own English speaking? I guess that their answer would be yes. It's often said that grammar is not so crucial for speaking a language, but I believe that having a good understanding of grammar can help us communicate more effectively and avoid misunderstandings. What do you think about it? Do you find grammar to be an essential aspect of language learning?
Number 1. Grammar rules can help learners develop the habit of thinking logically and clearly. After studying grammar, learners can become more accurate when using a language.
Number 2. Without good grammar, clear communication is impossible. Proper grammar keeps you from being misunderstood while expressing your thoughts and ideas.
Grammar improves the development of fluency. When a person has learned grammar, it will be easier for that person to know how to organize and express the ideas in their mind without difficulty. As a result, they will be able to speak, read, and write the language more fluently.
Many employers are immediately put off when they receive a cover letter for a job application that contains grammatical errors and is poorly written. Many employers will simply ignore this application and even delete it. It is therefore important to bear this in mind when applying for a job.
Writing and speaking correctly gives you the appearance of credibility. If you're attempting to build a reputation as an expert in your profession, correct use of grammar is extremely important.
Why don't you give some tips on how to improve that?
Sure, Larry. One way to improve your grammar is to read more in English. The more you read, the more you improve your grammar and vocabulary. It may be tiring and difficult to understand everything, but this is one step you cannot skip if you want to get better at grammar. Reading helps you to see how English works and how the grammar works. That knowledge can transfer to your writing. Find something you like to read and then keep on reading. It doesn't matter what you read, books, magazine articles, or newspapers, as long as they are written in proper English.
Hey Jessica, what do you usually do in your free time?
In my free time, I like to do a variety of things. Sometimes I enjoy reading a good book, listening to music, or watching a movie. Other times I like to go for a walk or meet up with friends for coffee. I also like to try new things, like exploring new places, trying new foods, or learning a new language. How about you?
Jessica, it's great to hear that you enjoy doing a lot of things in your free time. Gardening is one of my favorite things to do in my free time. I find it relaxing and fulfilling to plant new flowers and watch them grow. Gardening also gives me the chance to be outdoors and connect with nature.
Well, guys, do you like to read books? You can comment below.
Well, I don't typically read books, but I have a desire to develop the habit. However, I struggle to find ones that capture my interest. What about you, Jessica?
You should build the habit of reading books. Well, reading books has a lot of benefits that you might find interesting. Reading books will introduce you to new words all the time. For instance, reading can improve your critical thinking and analytical skills.
Learning words while you read is much easier than reading them out from a dictionary. Reading books improve concentration and focus. You will be amazed that reading for just 20 minutes a day will help you to focus better.
Reading inspirational books can give you new ideas to implement in your own work or personal life. It can increase your problem-solving capabilities and develop a more analytical mind. It is just miraculous to see a few words bring such a stark change in your personality.
Albert Einstein also believed that regular readers had a greater imagination and were able to discover more than an average human who didn't read much.
I never thought of it that way, but I don't know where to start.
That's okay. You can start by finding a book on a topic that you're interested in. It doesn't have to be a long or difficult read, just something that captures your attention. You can also try different genres like mystery, religion, romance, or science fiction to see what you like.
Hey, do you know why people don't like to read books these days?
Well, this is just my opinion, but I think social media might be one of the reasons. With so many apps and platforms available, people are spending more time scrolling through their feeds than picking up a book.
That does make sense. But don't you think social media has its benefits too?
Absolutely. Social media can be a great way to connect with people, share ideas and interests, and even learn new things. However, it's important to strike a balance between spending time online and offline activities like reading.
Did you get a chance to look at the homework?
Kind of I tried, but I got stuck on some of the questions.
Which ones?
The ones about passive voice, I couldn't figure out how to change some sentences.
Passive voice can be tricky. Which sentence confused you the most?
One of them was, she is painting the house.
Okay, let's break it down. What's the subject in that sentence?
The subject, it's she, right?
Correct. And what's the object?
The house.
Exactly. In passive voice, what happens to the object?
It moves to the beginning.
Spot on. So start your sentence with the object.
On the house.
Good. Now, think about the verb the original says is painting. How would you change that?
I don't know, the house is painted.
Close, but remember, is painting is continuous tense, so we need to keep it continuous.
Oh, like the house is being painted.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, I get it now, so I keep the is being part because it's continuous.
Exactly. The structure is being plus past participle.
Got it, so painted is the past participle here.
Yes, do you remember how to form past participles?
Kinda, it's usually the head form, right?
Yes, for regular verbs, but some are irregular, like write becomes written.
Oh, right, so paint is regular, so it's just painted.
Correct. Let's try another sentence together. What about he wrote a letter?
Start with the object, so a letter.
Good. And what's next?
I think was written.
Perfect. A letter was written. Nice job.
Oh, this is starting to make sense.
Good. It's all about identifying the subject, the verb, and the object.
So subject becomes optional in passive voice.
Exactly. You don't have to include the subject, but you can add by him if needed.
Oh, so it could be a letter was written by him.
That's right.
Great. Now that you've got the basics, let's try something a little more challenging. What about this sentence? They are building a new school.
Okay, so the object is a new school, right?
Exactly, so where do we start?
A new school.
Good. Now, what's the verb?
It's a building, but I'm not sure how to change it.
Remember, our building is in the present continuous tense. How do we show that in passive voice?
Oh, wait, it is being, right.
Perfect, and don't forget the past participle of build.
Oh, that's built, isn't it?
Correct. Now put it all together.
A new school is being built.
That's it. Well done. I see, so even small effort counts as long as I don't quit.